What do you want to talk about? Good morning.
Thank you. My question is related to the book Think and Grow Rich. I know that Napoleon Hill talks about, in order to be successful, a burning desire backed by faith and persistence. And I was curious, how does that tie into the alignment that you were talking about in the upstream, or does it tie in?
Well, it does. Expectation may be the most powerful collective word, because in expectation, all of the elements that help you to establish a point of attraction that is necessary are happening. Because in expectation, there is desire or focus. There is also belief. So in expectation, there is an absence of resistance. And that's all that is required, is the focus upon what is desired and an absence of resistance. So the reason we are certain that he spoke of persistence is because it takes some time to practice yourself in to that vibration of expectation. It's misunderstood by most humans because they really believe that the persistence that they are to apply is just keep doing it, keep giving it effort, do what it takes. But that's not the persistence that we would be encouraging. We would be encouraging the persistence of caring about how you feel and focusing yourself into that place where you can allow what you're wanting.
What is a good way to pass this on to some other friends that, may be going through a tough time or but aren't quite open to the material? What's a good way to share some of the lessons here?
Well, the thing about that is, when you identify that someone else is in need of something that you know would help them, but they're not in the receptive mode, so your goal as a mentor or a friend is to find some way of softening their resistance. But it can backfire on you because you get all tuned in, tapped in, turned on, and then you see someone in trouble, and then you want to move in and help them in some strong way, and you usually just exacerbate whatever it is they've got going on. Often you even make them feel defensive. And so these are the things that if we were standing in your physical shoes that we would remember. We'd remember that they have an inner being who is focused with them, that they have source energy backing them up all the time, and that all of that is being flowed to them just like it's being flowed to you. And so if their inner being is not able to reach them with all of that absence of resistance and all of that pure and powerful vibration, then when you try, in other words, their inner being can't buck their current, you can't either. You see. So it really is about holding your own vibration and letting your service be through the clarity of your example, letting your service be living in alignment until at some point they likely will say to you, hey, what you got going on here? Because no one, no matter what they're living or no matter how much resistance they are experiencing in this point in time or this one, no one is resistant all the time. So if you are a vibrational match to their well-being, not to their problem, then law of attraction is going to sync you up with good timing in a moment that they are not in resistance. We were talking yesterday about everyone being in alignment and then law of attraction just bringing you together, weaving in and out at perfect times. And it's like that. So if you're fixated on their problem, then you're not ever going to be in that place where you can be in the receptive mode to know when the good timing is. In fact, you're going to be in vibrational harmony with the wrong time. So it seems like every time you run into them, there's something else going on.
Got it.
That you want to help them to overcome.
And what is source energy, and how do we know that it exist?
Well, we've been talking a lot about this vortex, this vibrational reality that you can't see or hear or smell or taste or touch. But there is a way of knowing it's there, and it's by feeling it. So you have to get in touch with your emotions, and you have to get in touch with what energy feels like in order to know it. And you can't do what almost everybody does about everything else that they're trying to prove or confirm. You can't ask for a group consensus. And that's what happens with so many. They want a group consensus before they will believe. But what is faith? What is faith anyway? Faith is belief in what is unseen. It's faith in what you're not yet seeing or hearing or smelling. Faith is tuning in to the earlier stage of the translation. Faith is recognizing the vibration before it is fully manifested. Oh, it is so wonderful after the fact, once you've allowed yourself to be there and then allowed the full manifestation of something to happen. It's so nice to recognize the full manifestation as a confirmation, as an affirmation of your vibrational practice. But we want you to be happy in the vibrational practice. That's what faith is, and that's what you have to know about Source. Source is represented in everything that you see. But the thing is, you were born as magnificent vibrational translators. You were born as translators in such a sophisticated way that you don't even know you're doing it. So then you want to look with this sophisticated translation of sight and sound and taste and touch and smell. You want to smell Source. You want to touch Source. You want it to be tangible like that. Well, it is tangible in all of the magnificent things you see, but you want to label it differently, you see. So in time, you come to know that Source is a consciousness that you receive. Source is in your idea. Source is in your emotion of love and appreciation. That's how you know you are in touch with that. And in time, you will come to recognize that Source is not giving itself when you're good and withholding itself when you're bad. Where'd you get that stuff? Source is ever present, and you let it in or you don't. In other words, you are the depriver of it, and so you are the one who must prove it to you. You're the one who must find the vibrational frequency of it and do it often enough. And you know, how do you know the presence of something unless you deprive yourself of it and know the absence of it? But we think it is so helpful to understand that it is always present. They are ready for you to meet it in vibrational terms. And once you do, and then you begin to do it on purpose, what happens to you is you begin to experience this ever-present, abiding sense of well-being. And while things show up that you trip over, they never really take you far from your balance, because you do have this understanding that you are loved and supported in all things at all times.
And thank you very much for your answer yesterday to the gentleman that asked about selling real estate. And you mentioned to already act and think like you're that person that you want to be. What are some good tips to get to that point to where you can, you know, attract the things that you need to expand your business? And
we want to talk a little bit about acting as if it is and it will be, because we would like to clarify, it's important, that statement, because when you act as if something is that you don't believe, you set up a current of resistance within yourself. In other words, if you're pretending something, if you aren't feeling it. So that's not what we're teaching. We're not teaching to say the words or walk the walk and talk the talk. We're asking you to find the vibration that's within the desire. That was what that segment was all about. Why do you want it? Why do you want it? What's the feeling that is at the heart of that desire? Let's get to that feeling. Let's amplify that feeling. Let's get that feeling going. So we would say, feel as if it is and it will be. Feel it. And that ties in with what we were saying yesterday, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. About get yourself that far and practice getting that far and practice getting that far and practice getting that far, and understand that that far is all you need to do. That's your work, from the vibration that exists to the recognition of the vibration that exists. Law of attraction will take care of everything else. But if you don't do that, then you're faking it all the time. Mm-hmm. And there are some who would submit, they would defend powerfully, that if I fake it long enough, I begin to believe it. Well, we've never seen that to be the case. Mm-hmm. In other words, you have to find a piece of belief.
How do you believe without faking it? Or how do you believe that next step or that next level?
Perfect question, because you believe because you have found the feeling of it. You believe by no longer needing it to be present in order to believe. You believe because you've shown yourself over and over and over and over again that you can come into alignment no matter what's going on. That source is with you no matter what's going on. That you have control of your emotions no matter what's going on. That you can come into vibrational alignment no matter what's going on. By becoming unconditional in your living of life. By not needing a condition to be a certain way in order to feel the way you want to feel. By showing yourself again and again that you have access to all that you need. We've said this phrase that we're about to give to you, maybe more than any other thing that we've said over all the time that Esther has been translating for us. Everything that everyone wants, no matter what it is, a material object, a relationship, a state of being, a circumstance, an event, every single thing that you have ever or will ever or anyone has ever or will ever want is because you think that you will feel better in the having of it.